Now, as a designer, I think it's important that, when you're building, when you're designing for empathy, you got to build with clarity, right? So everything you do, your process, your findings, how you got to the conclusions that you did, it shouldn't be a surprise, right? Because the people who are going to be viewing your work are basically people with a persona mindset, right? They're going to be able to point things out that you otherwise would not have thought about, which is a great thing, right? Because it allows you to build solutions together. So I also think that as a designer, it's really important to keep that in mind when you're presenting your information, your designs, and you're looking for feedback. Now, with that being said, when I was doing my research when it comes to competitor analysis, I noticed something really interesting. So, while a lot of companies focus on reminders and medication, which are important, their interfaces are overwhelming, right? When I was interviewing the six participants, they all noted that when they're going through an app, they don't want to think. They don't want to use mental energy. And this is because when you're in a high stressful state, right, you're going through something called high arousal, right? And so what that means is when you're really hyped, you can only focus on one thing at a time, right? When you're balanced, you could do more complex tasks. But, these people, if you're always going through stress, you're not going to be able to do that. And so, when it comes to design, I had to really keep that in mind for these interfaces, that they have to be not just obvious, but they have to be easy to use without an explanation. Because this product is about support, right? And so it has to be intuitive, right? So the research that I did, it made it clear. Obviously, make it accessibility first. As a design, that's essential, right? But this app also needs to be an all-in-one hub, right? Not just a novel, but something that feels supportive, right? So before designing, I noticed there was also a lot of white screens, and I did my research. I chose dark blue as a background, and it's because 89% of people from this place called National Guild for Sensory Arts, they said that that color allowed things to be a lot more calming and imagination prompting. And so, yeah, I thought that this color also works because, mental stimulation, it is proven to improve cognitive function, mood, and the overall quality of their lives. So yeah, we designed 4 sections for this app: reminders, journaling, games, and how they feel in the present, right? And this is, I thought the last part was really important because not a lot of people realize this. 40 to 50% of people dealing with Alzheimer's go through depression, significant depression, right? So they really need to be reminded that of where they currently are in life, right? Because these people, when you're going through something, you really get so lost in your issues that you're not really able to recognize the positive qualities in your life. So I felt like it was really important to have a section within the app to remind these people of these things.